This female went to at least two of my videos and posted this exact same comment. Now, of course, we've been hearing this for years. It's a lie that has been co-signed even by Barack Obama. Whenever a person mentions that over 70% of black homes are headed by single black women, the first thing that pops into most people's mind is that the reason they're single is because the man didn't want to be a father and abandoned both her and the child. Now, in order for this lie to be believed, you would have to assume two things. One, that all relationships between black couples who have a child are ended by the black male. Two, that all relationships are ended by the black male because he didn't want the responsibility. Now, in order for anybody to believe that, they have to be either a racist or somebody who supports racist lies against black males. Because if this were true, we would have to conclude that women who have kids never dump their kid's father in the black community. Right? We would also have to conclude that black women who have kids are all well-mannered and show respect for their kid's father. Right? We'd have to assume that all single black mothers are compatible. Because if they're incompatible, then you can't say that the father simply abandoned her. Right? That would be a case of her pushing him away. Now, in black women's mind, they don't accept the idea of men being pushed away from them if they have that man's child. In black women's mind, because she has this child, then he is obligated to put up with any amount of shit that she decides to give him for as long as she decides to give it to him. And oftentimes black women have a man's child. She also behaves in a more dominant way. We know how black women are in relation to her kid's father. We're all aware of how black women tend to change once there's a child involved, because she knows she got the system behind her, right? And she can do anything she wants to that man whenever she decides to do it, and that changes her whole attitude. We're all aware of how black women make a big deal out of petty things. Many women, have such little respect for fatherhood that they will not permit the man to be the final decision maker in regard to raising a boy, which he should be, and as well in many cases raising a girl. Instead, she will insult and undermine his authority by going against what the father has instructed, oftentimes in front of his own kids, basically making a mockery of him as a father and as an authority figure, and humiliating him in front of his kids. Over several decades, black women have been groomed to believe and function as if they are the boss, the big mama persona. This has particularly been the case for the past 43 years. And if black men eventually get fed up with playing a subordinate role and being insulted as a man, as a father, he'll often leave the relationship with his kid's mother. Oftentimes, the female herself simply hates her kid's father for some petty ass reasons and decides to dump him. This is how relationships work. Sometimes women dump the men, sometimes the men dump the women. Right? Some men are active in their kid's life, but on paper, the female is still a single mother because only her name and the child is on the lease. Sometimes both the father and the mother agree that they're incompatible and believe it's best if they are not living in the same home, right? Because they're always arguing. It's not a good environment for the child. Other times they'll opt to live apart for financial reasons, even though he's over her house all the time and taking care of his kids. Right? We all know that the courts will award the mother custody 99% of the time, no matter if she's a severely dysfunctional woman or not. So you have to be a complete idiot to believe that 100% of black mothers were simply abandoned by their kid's father. Or, as I mentioned earlier, you have to be a racist or somebody who supports racist beliefs. The black women who co-sign with this lie are both idiots and people who support racist lies. This has always been one of black women's favorite lies because it removes any possibility of themselves being seen as incompatible or part of the reason they're single. You know, they can put it all on the man. It has nothing to do with me. I'm a perfect woman. It's a lie that projects black women as innocent victims of black male savagery. This is the exact same racist sentiments that white racists use. The black guy did it. Several times whites have committed crimes and then told the cops that some black guy did it, or they'll blame it on some black guy that did exist. You know, they'll wrongfully blame a black man, and other times they'll just say a black guy did it when they know damn well they ain't even seen no black guy, that they themselves did it. This is the same scenario. Black men are the scapegoats for white racists and simultaneously the scapegoats for black women. For decades, black men have been projected by the racist white media in Hollywood as subhuman, violent savages. Whenever black women say that the cause of all single black mothers is the black men who abandon those women, they are marching to the exact same beat played by white racists to remove guilt from themselves by blaming a black man. You even have a lot of doofus ass black men out here who've been brainwashed to promote this bullshit by their retarded ass mothers and other women in their family. Right? This lie, which is primarily supported by black women, supports the belief that it's justified to kill black men for the most minor reasons, because it's a subhuman, savage move to simply walk out of your child's life because you don't want the responsibility. Now, if so many black men didn't want the responsibility, then how is it possible that black men who are involved in their kids' life are more involved on an organic level with their child than all other races of men? You know, if so many black men dreaded the idea of being a part of his kid's life, then you would expect the black men who do live with his kids to be less involved in the activities with their kids than other men. Yet, evidence suggests the very opposite. Right, according to these studies, black men show a pattern of pleasure in being part of their kids' life. So it's much more likely that so many black mothers are single because they're simply incompatible as mothers and as mates, as wives. Also note the fact that the majority of divorces are filed by women. How can they claim that 100% of them who are single mothers were abandoned when we know that the vast majority of divorces are filed by women? And the fact that there are more black men who are married than there are black women who are married supports the belief that they're incompatible, especially when you consider that there are about 2 million more black women than there are black men. So black women can avoid confronting their own inadequacies, which make them incompatible, by lying on their kids' fathers, by saying that they're single because he decided to leave for no other reason than not wanting the responsibility. And this behavior makes black women ally with the racist elements that go into white society feeling justified to exercise the most extreme acts of racism against black males. As several black men have been saying time and time again, black women are agents of the system, agents of white racism. They are the major force behind the black population control, especially black male population control. And if you don't believe that many black women have abortions because they found out that they're going to have a boy rather than a girl, you're kidding yourself. When you see them post images of kids on Facebook, kids who they believe are beautiful and attractive, it's virtually always a photo of a girl. I've never seen them post a picture of a boy, personally, ever. We're all aware of how black women's culture is to abuse their sons and pamper their daughters. It's because black women are a reflection of the white racist system that coddles to black females over black males. You see, their whole mindset is aligned with white racism. Black women dismiss the degree that the system mocks them in the media and entertainment as long as the system continues to at least show more favor for them than it does for black males. This keeps them feeling like they are a part of the white dominant racist system. This is not a new relationship black women have with the dominant society. From day one, during slavery, the dominant white society has shown more favor for the less threatening black female. And every time black women spread the false racist propaganda of all single black mothers having been abandoned by black males, they reveal how tightly aligned they are with the mindset of the white racists who take pleasure in believing the worst about black males without questioning the validity of what is said. As long as it places blame on the black males and removes blame from themselves, they take it and run with it. Then they have the nerve to accuse people like me, who point out their fuckery of causing divisions between black men and black women. Just like how white people tell blacks that the best way to deal with racism is to stop talking about it. Stop pointing it out and bringing awareness to it, because when you do that, that is what keeps racism alive. This is your queen, not mine. Stay tuned.